name's Dr. George Orriss. I'm president of the Winnipeg Youth Orchestras. The Winnipeg Youth Orchestras are a fantastic program that enables young musicians to play an instrument in an orchestral setting. We were founded in 1923, and we actually predate the Winnipeg Symphony Orchestra by some 25 years. We currently have about 170 musicians in the program, and their ages range between 8 and 21 years old. By the time our players get to the senior group, the Youth Symphony group, they've been playing with the Winnipeg Youth Orchestras for about 5 to 10 years, and they've developed enough that they play the same musical scores as the Winnipeg Symphony Orchestra. So that's a pretty fantastic achievement, I think. Indeed, on occasion, the Youth Symphony group has even substituted for the Winnipeg Symphony Orchestra at one of their Concert for Kids concerts. So I think that's a fantastic achievement of our kids. I think it gives young musicians a fantastic opportunity to develop their musical skills, to perform in front of public audiences, and it gives them a tremendous amount of confidence in their everyday life. I think it makes a tremendous difference to their lives. Yes, the Winnipeg Youth Orchestras do have a large family component to them, and many of the board that are in charge of running the program have family members in the orchestras. But the orchestras engender cooperation not only at a musical level but at a social level as well. And so lots of our members keep in touch with each other long after they've moved on from the orchestras, and indeed we have a lot of past members of the youth orchestras that come back to work with our kids as clinicians much later on. So it's often a lifetime involvement with the program.
I think the biggest thing that in Manitoba, there are no string orchestra programs. There were when I was a child. You could actually take it through the schools at St. John's or Churchill High School, but all of those programs have disbanded, and so this is the only venue where the students have an opportunity to play in an orchestral setting. And there's lots of bands in high schools and junior highs, but there's no orchestras, and so it is just invaluable. We have students coming from Selkirk, we have students coming from as far away from Altona on a Saturday morning. They drive an hour and a half because this is the only opportunity. I guess I shouldn't Suzuki does. The teaching program has some small ensemble work, but not an orchestral setting. And what we try to do is develop a liaison with the Winnipeg Symphony, so that the symphony comes here and does a workshop with my students. And so then these are kind of the students that are committed to a really fine understanding of classical music. And that's not to say that the teachers, the music teachers in the schools don't do it, but these are the committed kids. So that if they go to the concert, one of my students came late today because they were in the opera last night. So I think they become more musically astute citizens of Winnipeg, Manitoba, supporting the arts, which is really important for the future. So we're kind of actually building the musical understanding in our students through this program. Just because, you know what, you want to give back to what you've been given. We had a phenomenal program when I was going through. We went on tours, and I know the senior orchestra is going on tour to Thunder Bay this year, and we went on tours to, like Dauphin, Manitoba and stuff like that. It doesn't matter where you go. The idea is to develop camaraderie and develop musicianship in different locations, and I just felt it was my desire to give back to the kids. I'm a violin teacher. I'm actually a teacher by education, and I think it's really important. It's just such a wonderful venue. The kids come on a Saturday morning when everybody else's kids are watching cartoons. They come at 9:15 in the morning, play straight through till 12 noon. It's a fabulous program. It's just, I think it's hard because we don't have the exposure that all, like Grey Cups this weekend, right? And so you don't have the exposure for this because the program and the parents are just tremendously committed because they're paying for their kids to take the lessons, they're paying for the kids to come to orchestra, and so we want them to have a musical experience. And the bottom line is I love making music, and I get to make music with these kids. And just today, a grandmother came to me and said, "Oh, you should know, she just talks about the music all the time, and it's just so exciting to do this music." And you heard it when you heard the Dance of the Tumblers, exciting, and the kids are just so thrilled that when they can start a piece and finish it to its conclusion, like we did, and not stop and not get lost. It's just amazing. It's really, and if you had just been here, this is all done in 12 weeks. So that the learning curve is hugely steep, especially for my group. And like they started in September, the second week in September, we go with the schools. Time, and we started there, and we had this camp. We go to a camp and we kind of woodshed, and nobody knows anything. Like, I'll say, "What bar are we on?" And we're supposed to be in bar 14. They'll say bar 2, and somebody else will say bar 24. And for them to actually be able to play this, like for you today, is just extraordinary.